What's up, y'all? King Locher. Something I want to speak on. And I don't want to speak on it for a minute, but I feel like a lot of people know. But I did notice that, like everyone I said in the video, a lot of people had clicked it for shop. And it's older to me, and that's that the fact that Meek Mill had Lil Snoop sacrifice. Alright. And let me explain this too about sacrificing a rapper. Everybody in the industry, depending on where they want you, because you gotta understand this. These people use satanic sorcery, and for these industry niggas, it does work because you're in Satan's realm when you're in the industry. Just keep it 100. Unless you're independent. I don't want you to think that if somebody doing music, they're in Satan's realm. I mean, unless you're independent. But if you're trying to be inside the industry, if you're trying to be a big artist, I'm explaining about Sauce Walker too, because Sauce Walker is. I'm gonna get there. I'm gonna get there. Okay. Let's start with like the most basic examples of a sacrifice. Okay. Dr. Dre sacrificed his son. All right. Regardless of what Dr. Dre tell you, his son did not just fucking drive off the side of a mountain. Something was done to his car. Someone's up there waiting for him on that mountain. Something like that. These people are sick, and yes, they do stuff like that. And you know the reason they get away with shit like that? It sounds so crazy. People are these celebrities are so protected. No one watches them like that. Like, you think these people got a lot of stalkers. They make a lot of those people up. These people ain't got stalkers. The only people who know how to keep up with them is the paparazzi. And the paparazzi is the media works directly for the Skull and Bones and the Boule. And they work and they have media that's inside the Boule, which is black media, okay? Black people cannot be inside the Skull and Bones. Hispanic people cannot be inside the Skull and Bones. You have to be white or have some kind of Aryan descent. Even Chinese and Asian people, they're not considered part of the Boule. They're in the Skull and Bones, but they're like on the outskirts. The Chinese people can be in Skull and Bones. I know it sounds kind of weird, but I'm just telling you they can. They don't accept Negroes though. In fact, they accept anybody that does Negroes because Hispanics are in the Skull and Bones. Forgive me, bro. You got your actors like Adrian Pascal. He's been to the top. He hasn't been to no goddamn Boule level. Forgive me. You can't be black and be in the Skull and Bones. I mean, yeah. If you're black, you're inside the Boule, and I'm explaining. I'm going to get to the differences in a little bit. Dr. Dre's hit probably was done by Boule, but it was asked and sent by the top of Skull and Bones because you can see Dr. Dre at the top of the world. They took his earphones. They made Dr. Dre a billionaire long before P. Diddy, long before Jay-Z. Nobody even talks about that. A lot of y'all already know that, but some of y'all don't. Okay? That's a basic example, right? One that you could clearly see is day. Like, Dr. Dre's son died. All of a sudden, Dr. Dre makes Beats earphones. I mean, the next 2 years, he sells and becomes the biggest thing of all time. He no longer has to even be mentioned anymore. That's how much money he makes. He's still making money to this day. Right? Okay. Let me get another one. I'm trying to get some like really basic ones, guys. I'm not trying to think really hard on them. Okay. Oh, a super basic example. DaBaby. Okay, DaBaby been out, I'd say, before 2019, which was the year he really truly blew. Baby been out for about since 2015. He been rapping for a long time. Cause I listen to Money Man, and Money Man been making songs with DaBaby, right? Now I don't know, they don't make music anymore, and I'm not finna say it's cause Money Man is just so righteous he can't make a song with DaBaby anymore like that, because the Money Man knows about the industry too. I don't believe Money Man sold his soul yet, but I do believe and I don't even think Money Man took the oath because he's not involved. Because I don't think though Ghazi has connections to the industry, and trust me, I know Ghazi talks about the shit about owning your masters and shit like that and all that, but I'm telling you, bro, Ghazi and Empire, they have connections to the industry, but the way they got that shit up, the way Ghazi got it set up, the industry is not a fan of that nigga because he really is giving these people their masters and shit and let them make money. And even and don't get it twisted, if you sold your soul, like, and it's a difference between taking the oath, guys. It's just you take the oath. You realize that you're in the satanic industry. You realize there are things that go on. You realize there are rituals. There are things that had to be done. There are favors that must be made. There are blood sacrifices. There are sexual sacrifices. There are sacrifices of flesh. When I mean sexual sacrifices. When I mean sacrifices of flesh, and also there's like suicidal sacrifices. What do I mean by that? I'm finna get into that like next, because that's what Megan Thee Stallion mama did. Okay, Now, like the baby, all right, they seen the potential in the baby when he was rapping in, okay, but they waited. They probably came to him and told him, hey, you're gonna get in the industry, so forth and so forth. Because if you listen to the Baby O interviews, he when after he was already out, he had said he came back with like a 6ix9ine mentality, like with a 6ix9ine trolling mentality, right? That's why a lot of people can kind of see through the Baby with this murder shit, because he wasn't like that when he first came out, bro. The Baby is actually a smart, educated black man, family man, bro. He plays sports and shit. That's why he's buff like that. It's not from doing street shit. It's because he's an athlete. But we can get into that a little later. Anyway, yeah, I can go on and on about that, but let me keep going. Okay, so in around 2019, when the Baby was out, he was told, they informed the Baby, bro, we're taking you to this level, because the Baby had already taken the oath. I think the Baby might have sold his soul maybe at the end of 2019. He took the oath the entire time, because the shit if you could tell the way he was kind of, listen, you could tell when they're still naive about the industry, because they say mine in front of a lot of shit, like, because they really think shit is theirs. They're more likely to they don't show us money. I know y'all gonna say, man, you stupid. The Baby was always showing money. I'm telling you, the Baby didn't get really done, bro, till like 2019. So probably, forgive me, 2018 they told him. You know what I'm saying? 2018 he was ready. 2019, somewhere in 2019, he sold his soul to Satan. Okay, you already took the oath in 2018. Forgive me. 2019, he sold his soul somewhere during that time. And then somebody watching, somebody that really pays attention, because I don't pay attention to celebrities no more like that. I just pay attention to other stuff. As far as like the crowd, I watch the industry too. But since my eyes are kind of open and I kind of already know, like, you gotta think, guys. If y'all know anybody, like, y'all know about Yash Karai and Baptized and Scribe, I've been listening to them since I was 15, bro. I'm 25 now, so that's 10 years, right? And I also read the Bible, and I also try to get into the Bible myself when I can. But it's just hard for me to understand, because the Bible's in parables, which means it's in riddles. It's hard. If most I don't want you to understand it, you're not gonna understand it. Okay, anyway. Being into stuff like that, I don't pay attention no more. But somewhere in that time period, you could tell. Okay, they set the shit up but they're sloppy now. And what I mean by sloppy now is not the Baby. I just mean the industry is getting sloppy because it's getting ready to fall. So they actually told the Baby, we're gonna kill your dad on the exact day that your album come out. And the Baby, being a heartless and evil, which the fuck he is to do some shit like that, but also being stupid and what's the name, didn't even mourn his dad's death at all. So it looks obvious. Like, wait a minute, bro, your dad died. This is the first time you're mentioning your dad. His name is Kirk. You named your first album Kirk, and now your dad is dead. So obviously, bro, that was some industry shit. I'm trying to get another example. What? Oh, I'm trying to give another example. It's easy. Oh yeah, Meek Thee Stallion, bro. I just mentioned that. Meek Thee Stallion mama had killed herself. She signed up to get herself killed. Ain't no way that bitch mama just died of a heart attack, bro. She been big like that her whole life if you go watch some old videos. But all of a sudden, she just died of a heart attack. As soon as Meek Thee Stallion blows up around what? I think around the same time the Baby's dad died, okay? And they probably also did their sexual rituals at the same time. The baby and Meek Thee Stallion probably got ran up in the same time, bro. But Meek Thee Stallion been talented and been rapping, bro, ever since she was down in Houston. But that little college good girl thing that she had going, that's not enough for them. They need the image more darker. So guess what they needed to make this Tina Snow character they done made? Well, I ain't saying Meek Thee Stallion had nothing to do with it, but the shit Meek Thee Stallion does is retarded. Clearly, Meek Thee Stallion is still a young, toxic woman, right? Extremely young and toxic woman, right? So young women make mistakes like that and do toxic shit. But she's still extremely young and dumb. And to me, it doesn't seem smart enough to set up her own sacrifice. So I think her mother, because you can sign yourself up. You know what I'm saying? Or you can sign up somebody close to you. All right? For example, a lot of y'all might not know this. Kevin Gates was trying to kill NBA Youngboy. He was trying to kill NBA Youngboy. He was getting ready to do that. That's why he had the tattoo done, so when he's dead, he can say, oh, I had love for him. He didn't have no love for him. You just met that dude. And 2 weeks you got a tattoo of him. That's because you figured, oh, this motherfucker will make a great sacrifice. NBA Youngboy is in the industry. And he's what's the name? Wait a minute. And you know what's crazy? That kind of makes me question. I think Youngboy might have took the oath. But nah, Youngboy signed his name in blood, and he's mentioned it in songs before. I just don't think that they're in contact with Youngboy like that. I think Youngboy sold his soul, and he still stay up in the streets. Now they tell him they're gonna kill him and shit like that. I think they do threaten him. I'm not saying the industry. I'm just saying like niggas in the industry. He don't know they're in the industry, right? He might think these are just regular thug ass niggas that live in Hollywood or live in every rich area that you move into. But these are what they call industry cops. And they don't arrest people. They just kill rappers. That's what, if y'all wondering who killed rappers. I don't know. He's just not enriched like that. I don't think he talks to them like that. But Kevin Gates was getting ready to sacrifice him because that would be a great sacrifice. And the young boy's already talking like he's ready to die. He's already beefed with so many people. Where the hit comes, you would know where the hit is coming from. That's why I say he's playing a dangerous game. Okay, I know it's been 10 minutes. I'm gonna get on to the Meek Mill situation, even though that's what the main video is supposed to be about. Forgive me, it's been 10 minutes, but I have to explain it. Okay, Meek Mill, bro. I want you to know when Meek Mill came out, Rick Ross was here. Well, Meek Mill was here with Wale. Why all of a sudden that Meek Mill surpassed even Rick Ross? Because he sacrificed Lil Snoop. If you pay attention to the timeline, bro, when Snoop was coming up, matter of fact, Meek Mill was getting more looks because of Snoop. You remember that big freestyle Snoop did when he brought out T.I. and all these other legends in that room? They were there for Snoop, bro. They seen that what's name is Snoop. Now, I don't know who got in his ear and told him to sacrifice Snoop. I'm pretty sure it was Rick Ross. Because I don't remember seeing Rick Ross and Snoop interact like that. And I know he knew of him, and Rick Ross is the type of dude like, oh, little homie Cole. So, it had to be some wicked shit for him not to be in the image with him like that. To always be around Snoop like that. So more than likely, Ross told Snoop, hey man, told Meek, hey, you're gonna need a sacrifice. Or if it wasn't him, I believe it was Jay-Z. I believe Jay-Z told him, you know what I'm saying, to get to the level that I am, because Jay-Z is at a higher level than Rick Ross in masonry and into the industry. So I believe, honestly, it was Jay. I know I just said what I said about Rick Ross, but for some reason I believe it was Jay now that I'm thinking about it. And anyway, Jay-Z is the one that told him, hey, bro, if you want to get to the top, you're going to have to sacrifice something. You're going to get everything you want, money, the bitch. Think about this. Y'all really think that Meek Mill stood up and fan talked about Nicki Minaj like he a fan of Nicki Minaj? That's the baddest bitch ever. How you end up dating Nicki Minaj? Why? Because they were put together. That was Meek Mill's reward for killing Snoop and doing so many evil things like that, okay? Like, some things are outside the industry plan. Like, Meek Mill wasn't supposed to be for Drake. That wasn't in the industry. Because the shit that happened to Drake, the industry already knows about. They're the ones who signed Affidavit signed whenever he got pissed on by that dude at the Takers career. So nobody would laugh at him, okay? When Meek Mill exposed that's an industry secret. For doing stuff like that, the industry had to whoop Meek Mill's ass for a little bit. Okay, so they let Drake beat him. They let Drake get a diss record written by somebody. Drake did not write that record. And had to put out about him. All these different guys, they had all these different rappers come at him. You know what I'm saying? Like that. And to let you know that wasn't part of industry plans, and then Meek Mill actually had some industry people on his side. Even though the industry did whoop his ass and let that happen to him, to let you know if there were some people in the industry that didn't like that. This is where the Jay-Z and Drake beef started, and this is where the Rick Ross and Drake beef started. Is because they thought that they like Meek Mill as a prospect, and all that to understand his whooping. They didn't want him to go down so further where he couldn't come back. So Jay-Z, being his mentor, really jumped on his side, dissed Drake. You already know what Rick Ross did with the color money and started dissing himself and getting into it with James Prince and all them. Okay? And pretty much that's the way it works, guys. I know I didn't mention Meek Mill to the end of this video. It's very long, but that's the way the sacrificing shit works, bro. It's your basic sacrifices, it's your sexual sacrifices, then it's your blood sacrifices. Okay? And I'm pretty sure a lot of y'all got common sense that if you go in the industry, you can look and tell what these people have done to certain industry relationships they've been in. A lot of those are put together, bro. I'm telling you.